how do I summarize that? There's so much going on in my head always, and I want to communicate something, but my thoughts are completely scattered everywhere. Let's start by telling you that I'm using here Linux Pop! OS to run my games. 98% of those games you see are, or 95 in this case, percent of games you see are GOG games, except Diablo 2. And that's the topic I want to talk about today. Diablo 2, I recently, 2 days ago or something, I downloaded Diablo 2 from my Battle.net account. And that is special to me. It's nothing special to you, but special to me in terms of, I want to show you also an overlay, in terms of, I didn't know. And see this session as, maybe we're gonna play a little bit of Diablo 2, more like a rambling podcast session. So I always owned the original Diablo 2 German game back in 2000. I don't know, it was between 2000, let me guess, 6 and 2012, something in between this time window. I bought the original Diablo 2 CD, which came in a box, which I still have back in my home. When I'm back there, I'll still think about this. Maybe I'm gonna send you a picture, show you a picture. And there was a time where I was able to transform those CD keys in and adding those CD keys to my Battle.net account, and then you could download when you were running, for example, Windows 10, Diablo 2 original, and play that. And I did that, and I had always the German version. I never had the English version. And for some reason, I thought this is not possible anymore, or something like that. I never really bothered about the English version, but 2 days ago it hit me, because I checked out Diablo mods because of GOG again, and that one thing led to another, and I went to my Battle.net account, checked if it's possible, if I can download the English version. Short answer, yes. As you can see, this is the English version of Diablo 2, and the way Blizzard is handling that is very complicated, especially when you use Lutris, Linux, to install your stuff, because you have to download the game exe, but the game exe is not the full game. It starts to when you download the exe to install Diablo 2, the original, not the resurrection, and then it starts a launcher which then downloads the original game file installation program, and then you can install the game. And you also need your CD keys and so on, blah, blah, blah. And under Linux, it's a little bit more complicated because you have to find where the folders are now. But eventually I figured this out, so I have basically long story, very, very long. And I know the original phrase is long story short. I like to modify them. But it's not always clear because sometimes I mix up stuff in the English language. Anyhow, long story super long. I have now, my Diablo 2, in a way DRM free, in a way I say, not quite, but in a way. I can play them now offline whenever I want, in the English language, in the German language, and that is very, very cool to me. But it's nothing special. Again, it's just a simple default Diablo 2 installation. However, while I was checking that out, I created a new overlay because, of course, I did, meaning those pillars and stuff like that. But also checked out even more. So, yeah, and I'm currently, I'm not sure if you can hear that. Is this recorded? Yeah. If you hear some background noise like a Silent Hill thing, that's normal for this little town I'm staying. Yeah. Anyhow, so I'm not sure if you can hear that. It sounds like a Silent Hill siren. Yeah, so I basically, this is how it started. So this is Lutris, and I'm using Pop! OS. And I installed my GOG games, as you can see, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, which I really prefer. Even I like the art style over Baldur's Gate 3, but Baldur's Gate 3 is a proper game. Anyhow, let's focus. So then I was thinking, what is the Evolution X. The name is probably coming from Diablo and Evolution, and then X. I do not know, which sounds cooler maybe. It doesn't, but whatever. I was thinking, is this another mod, like a Beelzebub mod? Because Beelzebub mod I checked out a little bit. It's a Diablo one. This one is pretty cool, and then I wanted to investigate what that is. But this seems to be just an, I don't know, like I don't know what it actually is. If they keep updating the game, maybe I could think, or if this just is an overall better experience. I don't know. So I was curious, and we maybe can start the game. Let me just disable the overlay here. It would be too confusing because the overlay is only prepared for Diablo 2. So when I start Devolution X, I could choose this one, but it would automatically start Hellfire, which I've never played. I still save that for Let's Play, which I will never do. But let's start Diablo 2. I can show you that one. And this one basically has features like, what happens if I go to multiplayer? No gateway needed. Offline, client TCP, this is LAN I think. Oh, whatever. So single player, and here is my Uftoof character. And the first thing which you will notice is, I'm gonna turn this off here, is full screen. You can do. You have you can also zoom in, zoom out with the Z key. I have one key is this one here. But I cannot really tell you what they have done. I'm not an expert in Diablo. Listen, also I'm not a fanboy of Diablo at all. It's not. There are people who are so much into this game that they are hunting set items and so on. I'm very casual. I'm super casual. I like the atmosphere. I like skeletons, and I think
the sanctity of this place has been fouled.
You know, but don't get the wrong impression. It's not that I'm an expert of those games at all. But I do like them. But I prefer Diablo 2 over almost every Diablo. Yeah, here you have Gamma. Speed, you can increase the speed, but that's too heavy for me. Anyhow, so I don't know what that kind of version is exactly. What's that for? If it's better, to be honest. I think I would prefer Beelzebub over this one here. Let's go to quit. I wanted to show the check out the main menu a little bit more. But here I could play the Hellfire. There is Beelzebub mod also. I do not know if Hellfire is integrated into Beelzebub. That I do not know. That would be interesting as well. Maybe something must have happened here. It's not normal. It's a little town, you know. Devolution X. Diablo. No, anyway, so I want to check out the settings here a bit. So you have language. What language could I choose here? English, yeah, okay. Game mode. What is game mode? Hellfire, I see. Ah, yeah, okay, that's for this one. Startup. Intro, logo and title. Intro off. Ah, yeah, I see. Graphics. And this is the GOG version, the standalone mod. Zoom on, yeah. Oh, I see. I see. Well, this is interesting maybe if you grab input. Adria refills mana off. Why would you do that? Why would you implement an option like that? For what reason? I like that she's. I mean. Anyway, but you can adjust some things. Ooh, is this game loud here? Pet mapping. Jesus Christ! What was it? Okay, that's enough. Like, well, that wasn't enough. The sound here. Anyhow, so those are the options here. This is Beelzebub. Those are the GOG versions. This is GOG. This is GOG. Diablo 2, obviously not. Unfortunately, they don't offer that. Someone explained that to me. There was a time when I thought when Diablo 1 was released on GOG, I was thinking, oh, if they release Diablo 1, they will surely release Diablo 2 on GOG as well. And I liked that because I liked the second one. I was always late to the party of the second one. I never played this when it was at its peak, but I always liked the second one. Even though I never really play that like fully like other people do, like very casual, like I said, usually to Act 2 and then I stop playing. But I played through Diablo 2, I think, twice. Like, anyhow, so this is the Beelzebub mod, and here are some test characters. I think this is the wrong. Yeah. This is Uftuf, but I don't like this guy who has a sword. This is a proper hero, I hate him. This is a good sorcerer. And here in Beelzebub, you can already zoom in and zoom out. For some reason, the music is. No, it's not the game's fault. When I zoom in and zoom out, sometimes I press accidentally with the mouse wheel. When I push the mouse wheel to the left, then I press the M key. I set it up like that, and so it'll mute the music. Which, speaking of the music, the game is really loud, eh? So, yeah, you have here even more options, I think. At least options which matter to me. Maybe not. No, like so. I think F1 was it. No. How can I open that? And that's weird. Maybe here? No. No, F1 doesn't work anymore. Maybe I have to go into the church. Combat text info. On screen. There was. Which key do I need to press to open? Settings, no. I'll check this, maybe must be here somewhere.
The sanctity of this place has been fouled.
Doesn't work. I was really thinking F1 is the key to get this information, the tool tips here. No, pressing every key doesn't work. Okay, well, let's go into the options. Exit game. You have to really start the game from. I don't know how to go into the main menu. So let's see. There's some options here. No, there are no options. Single player. Weird. Sound options and all. Game settings? Is this all that we have? Okay, let's read. Combat text on, screen shake on, play movies, monster, town walk, full monster. No, this is not the thing. What is that? Team, send, crafting. What crafting? What is crafting? Crafting not available. Auto map. Skills. Char. Weird. So weird.
I cannot get there from here.
You cannot do that, huh? No, F1 doesn't work. What is that? What is that? Here's something here. Ah, this is something. Okay. Now I'm pressing every key, let's see. Ah, here. It's H. Okay. It's H. So when we press H, we get this window here. Keyboard shortcuts, display main menu, and so on. We can scroll down. There's a bunch of things to change. Movement. Yeah, so probably I would prefer this one over the other one. But I don't want to play this one. I want to play Diablo 2. And there is also, when you install Lutris, you can say here, search for game, and I think it's Diablo. I have to search like that. Somewhere over the rainbow. Diablo 2 Resurrected? No. Immortal? No. There was like a project. It's not listed anymore. Maybe I have to do it like that. Eh. Weird. Yesterday I was doing the same thing, and I saw the installation option of installing Diablo. Project Diablo. This is the one I wanna check out a bit. Project Diablo is I think I just learned about this like 2 days ago. There seems to be like a big deal for the Diablo people, like Diablo 2, but constantly being updated and something. This is the way to play the game, maybe. That's an interesting thing, but I have to check the legitimacy of this game. San Diablos. Anyhow, so maybe I'm gonna check this out at some point, because that probably is the Project Diablo. It's gonna be like a Beelzebub mod, I could imagine, where with full screen and so on, right? So that's interesting. Another thing I want to talk about is, which maybe gonna talk about in a separate video also, is how convenient, or how this is a positive thing about Linux. After using Linux almost for, I don't know exactly when I started, but I feel like it's not quite a year, but maybe it is. I don't know. I start to get now an intuitive understanding how you play games under Linux, and you getting better with tweaking things. You know how to make games run. You know, like this is the same thing like in Windows. I'm not a professional, whatever, but you get an intuitive understanding on how you can make especially older games run. And games like Nox, like Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, which I don't want to play, but I want to be able to play them, do run under Linux. They just run. And that's pretty cool, because I couldn't make those games run properly because I always had under Windows a problem, and I tried out many things. The problem was something was off in the main menu with those games. Every time I started those games, the main menu just froze, and I couldn't start the game because I couldn't navigate in the main menu. There was a way to kind of navigate by switching in and out of the game. Every time I switched back into the game, I had like 2 frames time where I could move the mouse and slowly push the mouse to the game start button. And so I was able to start the game, but this is not how you want to play. Maybe there's a way to adjust those games under Windows too, but I remember that I tried a lot and it just didn't work. Under Linux, those games do just run, and that's pretty cool. But you still have to also understand Linux a little bit, and that's also not an easy task to do. But eventually, if you have all the games, and an older computer especially, then you have Linux as another option to maybe run games which do not run under Windows. So it's just another troubleshoot step if if I want to sell Linux to you. Yeah. So, and using both, Microsoft is also fine. I mean, as a tool, But oh boy, yeah. Microsoft, I had to find a solution for my predicament. I had to go to Linux because of my main machine was not able to use Microsoft anymore. And now, a year later, man, am I glad that I put myself to the task of understanding Linux better, because it is so crazy what Microsoft is doing. It is so crazy that you have almost no control over your computer anymore. And this is to a guy like me who always in every single video complains about microtransactions and I like that things are DRM free. It makes totally sense that I become slowly but surely a Linux, maybe not a fanboy necessarily, but I'm very glad that I found that I pushed myself on trying to figure this out, because now I have a choice. Now I can choose which operating system I want to use, and I do that. So I will use Windows when necessary. I will use mostly Linux whenever I want to be private, and that is just awesome. I feel like I'm getting control over the computer. Life is You cannot get life under control, but you can get your operating system under control. That's why I like a computer. That's why you like computer. Anyhow, so now, I don't know. Shall we play a bit? You know what? Let's keep that as a separate video because it would be a waste of time anyways. If you probably wouldn't be. If I play this now, you wouldn't know because you wouldn't watch the video. Maybe this was interesting to you. And if I, see, here I have Diablo 2. This is the Battle.net account version, which is in a way DRM free. And I made already a copy of this one. And this one is the same. It just says the D2P, and this is Diablo 2P. The P stands for going to the toilet. The P stands for private. And when I jump into this one here, I can show you. It's also cool under Lutris, under Linux. I'll show you what the difference is. So this is the same game file, not the differences and those kind of things. But if I go here to single player, see the name Kira. This is my level 4 sorcerer. And if I go into this one here, Diablo 2, you'll see a different name. And you see here the test character, 000. You see, so basically I can just separate that. I could start a character and a let's play character, which I don't have to interfere with I can just play private, and also online, And with Linux, you can basically. Another idea was really to get myself like a big SSD, maybe even 2, just for the Let's Play channel, where I only have an operating system only for Let's Plays and so on, which is very useful, because you don't have to. Even if this method, sometimes there's a chance that you can accidentally start the wrong one, and if you don't pay attention to the name and the level are kind of similar, then you could maybe mess around with that. But if you have like 2 different operating systems for a private use and private play, and the other one for Let's Play, that would be ideal actually, Then but anyhow, the SSD prices right now are so high. Maybe I'm still gonna do that, but not with the. Well, I'm not gonna buy a expensive one. Especially not now. I think we have to wait 1 or 2 years until prices drop, and maybe they drop drastically. If the market is basically overfilled with chips at some point in time, when everything slows down, when the demand of chips diminishes from the AI, then maybe and other manufacturers adjusting right now to the market. Maybe I could imagine there is a time where they collapse and their prices become maybe even cheaper than before. But this is also a little bit hopeful, Anyhow, just a guess, but I'm just looking at this from a consumer perspective, and there are some informations I don't have, which maybe change the outcome of my theory. Anyhow, yeah, let's end this with this rambling. So Linux is cool. They should definitely check it out, especially, also, I'm not want to sell it to you that it's an easy thing to do. It is really hard finding the right operating system, first of all, for your system. You have to try out a bunch of different Linux operating systems until you find the one which fits to your needs, but it's doable. And then you have to spend time and getting understanding how it operates, like getting to the point where you start using your applications in an intuitive way. This will really take a while, especially if you don't like reading things like I do. So if you just press buttons and you don't know what you're doing, it'll take longer, but you get to it, and then you have, yeah, I would recommend checking this out at least. And you can also install Linux on an external SSD. And in this way, when you do that, you can do so much fancy stuff with that. But it's actually, if you have it on installed on an external SSD, you don't need to have a dual boot. It just suffices that you know what are your booting keys when you start your computer, and you have to press certain keys to go into the boot menu. Then you can always manually choose the SSD where your Linux operating system is installed, at least for older machines. For newer computers, that's a problem because Microsoft is being ridiculously sci-fi meanwhile. They go so deep into your BIOS even that everything is locked into your BIOS, and it becomes more complicated installing Linux also, which I'm sure they they could whatever. Yeah, let's just put it that way. Microsoft is really having a relationship with Microsoft is almost like an abusive relationship, and they are completely out of their mind. But it's still a nice operating system when you don't, well, you know. Anyhow, I don't want to talk about this actually, not right now, but you know what I mean. Anyhow, that's it. I think I'm gonna play just Diablo 2 a bit, and then without the rambling at the beginning. Not a let's play maybe, but for a while maybe like that. Yeah, sure, maybe we'll see. Okay, bye bye. That's it. Was fun recording.